Hello students, how are you doing today? So here we are again. This is Adrian and today's class is video number 4, grade time 4, unit 11, help. Well, today we're going to work with grammar, to and in order to. But before I introduce this topic of to and in order to, I want to remind you about the story of the farmer, the donkey, and the well. Remember that story? So we have here the picture, so there is a well, a farmer, a donkey, a wheelbarrow, and some dirt. Okay, so what is this story? Okay, so what is it? So let's remember it a little bit so that we have a context to work with our grammar topic today. So let's see here. Here we have a listening part. Let's listen again, okay, and pay attention.
Hello, podcast listeners. Thanks for downloading today's story of the day. We asked you, our listeners, to send us your favorite fables. You know, stories with a moral, where we learn a lesson about life. We got some great fables from you, and now we're reading one every day as part of the podcast. Today's story is from Pauline Smith in Denver. It's called The Donkey in the Well. Here we go. One day, a farmer was working outside his house with his donkey. Suddenly, he heard the donkey making noise, crying for help. The farmer ran over to see what had happened. The donkey had fallen into the well. He looked into the well, and there was the donkey, a few meters below, looking up at him. The farmer didn't know what to do. He thought carefully for a while. He couldn't throw a rope down in order to pull the donkey out, because, of course, the donkey couldn't hold on to it. And he couldn't climb down into the well to push the donkey out, because there wasn't enough room for both of them. The farmer thought about it for a long time. In the end, he had to make a very difficult decision. And so the farmer got a wheelbarrow full of dirt. Then he went back to the well, and, with a heavy heart, began to throw the dirt into the well on top of the donkey. At first, the donkey was surprised, and then, when it realized what was happening, it became frightened and made a terrible noise. The farmer had had the donkey for a very long time, so he didn't like what he was doing. But he thought, if I don't do this, the poor donkey will die a slow and painful death. I'm doing this to help the donkey die quickly. So he continued throwing dirt into the well, and the donkey continued crying for help. But then the donkey stopped making any noise. The farmer thought that the donkey was dead and felt very unhappy. But when he looked down into the well, it was his turn to be surprised. The donkey was standing on top of the dirt in the well. The farmer threw some more dirt in and watched. The dirt landed on the donkey's back. The donkey shook the dirt off its back, and then the donkey stepped up onto the growing pile of dirt in the well. The farmer was amazed, but happy. He began to throw more and more dirt into the well, and the donkey continued stepping up onto it. After some time, the dirt filled the well, and the donkey stepped out, alive and safe. So there you are. And the moral of the story? Well, Pauline doesn't say. Maybe it's that life will always throw things on top of you, but if you're smart, you can use it to climb higher.
Okay, so that's a nice story about the donkey and the farmer. So at first the farmer thought he was going to kill the donkey by throwing dirt into the well, but that dirt helped the donkey come out of the well. Yes, so my first question is why did the farmer throw dirt in the well? Yes, you just heard. because he wanted to kill the donkey immediately. He had to prevent him from dying very slowly and suffer even more. Okay, so that's why he did it. And why did the farmer run over to the well? Why did he run over to the well? So let's see the answers. So he threw dirt on the donkey because he had decided to bury it in the well. So he threw dirt on the donkey. What's the purpose of that? Because he had decided to bury it in the well. Why did the farmer run over to the well? He ran over to the well because he wanted to see what had happened. Okay, so these two answers, they have like a purpose for one of the actions of the farmer. So he ran over to the well because he had a purpose. He wanted to see what had happened. But we can do like this. He threw dirt on the donkey, and we can do like this, to bury it into the well. And we can take out because he had decided. And we can only say he threw dirt on the donkey to bury it in the well. Or we can say he ran over to the well to see what had happened. So we can take out, remove because he wanted, and only use the word to express purpose. So that's the grammar topic of today's class. We can use the word to express a purpose. So we say it like this. He threw dirt on the donkey to bury it in the well. And he ran over the well to see what had happened. These to and to, they express purpose. Okay? So, look at the sentences from the listening, then complete the rule. The farmer ran over to see what had happened. He couldn't throw a rope down in order to pull the donkey out. So, as we saw before, the word to expresses purpose in a more informal way. But if you want to make it formal, we can use another expression, in order to. So let's take a look at the rule. We can use to plus a verb to talk about purpose. In more formal language or in writing, we can also use in order to. All right? So in order to pull the donkey out. So let's see the grammar explanation. When we want to give the reason why someone did something, the purpose, we can use to plus the verb. We can also use in order to in more formal sentences. Let's take a look at these examples. I called her to ask about her vacation. So this is the purpose why I asked her. Please fill out this form in order to help us provide the best service for you. So that is the reason why I want you to fill out that form. Number 2, we want to make, when we want to make in order to negative, we put not before to. For example, please speak quietly in order not to disturb other people in the library. So we just put not before to. All right? Really good. Now, this is your first exercise, exercise number 2 in your book. Think about the stories in the unit so far. Match the questions and answers. Then rewrite each pair in your notebook as one sentence using the words in parentheses. So we have 2 things that you have to do here. First, you have to think about the stories that you have read in your unit 11, and then match the sentence here, the first, with the second part. Okay, questions and answers. And then get your notebook and write a whole sentence. Let's take a look at the example. Why did the farmer get some dirt? The story that we have just heard about the farmer. Letter A, to rescue a small boy. Yeah, so no, it's not this one. Why did the farmer get some dirt? To bury the donkey. Letter E. Yeah, the first one is letter E, sorry. So, the farmer got some dirt to bury the donkey. Alright, that's the purpose. What about number 2, 3, 4, and 5? I'll give you some minutes for you to do. Pause the video now. Okay, we're back. So, did you have time to do it? Let's correct the exercise. Okay, why did Mr. Reader jump into the water? So remember Mr. Reader, the man who rescued that baby? So why did he jump into the water? So this is letter A, as we saw, to rescue a small boy. And you have to use the word to. So he jumped into the water to rescue a small boy. Number 3, why did the farmer look into the well? Letter C. See why the donkey was quiet. Why did the nurse stop on the waterfront? Why? Letter D. To help the baby boy. And why do the authorities say not to walk on the waterfront in windy weather? Letter B. To prevent or in order to prevent future accidents. And how can I write those sentences? So those sentences are like this. Mr. Reader jumped into the water to rescue a small boy. The next one. The farmer looked into the well to see why the donkey was quiet. So this is the reason why he did that. The nurse stopped on the waterfront in order to help the baby boy. So this is another way to use to, but in a more formal way. The authorities say not to walk on the waterfront in windy weather in order to prevent future accidents. Okay? So far so good? That's okay. So that's the end of this video. I hope you got the concept here of to or in order to that are used to express a purpose. Alright? So bye-bye. See you in the next video.